Welcome to the Full Service with me, Mr. Full Service, and I'm back. So we got an awesome video from Charlie Kirk where he went onto a campus and he's having some discussions, some rather thought-provoking discussions with a few young individuals, college-age kids. Now, the one thing I can say that I like about Charlie, now, Charlie will admit that I'm not always right, I'm not always right, but I'm also willing to learn. And he will have a genuine conversation with you as long as you are willing to meet him there as well. So let's get into this.
Okay. So one thing I want to start off with is, why does your opinion trump over any other people's opinion?
Right. So do you believe that there is a truth out there?
Everything is subjective, but there is a right or wrong morally, especially when you're in a cultured society that is based off a set of standards and norms that we act on and we act as.
So everything is subjective. So is it objectively true you and I are having a conversation right now?
Yes.
So that's not subjective then. So not everything is subjective.
So why do you believe morals?
Right. So some
Ding, ding, ding. First point made. Everything is not subjective. There are structural truths. There are objective truths out there. Like, I can tell you that I'm sitting here making this video. That is objectively true because I am sitting here and I'm making this video. I'm not riding a bike. I'm not on an airplane. I'm sitting in my kitchen making this video. And that's the problem with a lot of young folks. They believe that everything is subjective. Everything is not subjective. There are absolutely objective truths. And there you go. Charlie made that point.
thing is objective.
Yes. Why do you believe your subjective
I'm
opinion
gonna get
trumps
there.
over other people's
Right.
opinion?
Well, let me ask you another question. I'll tell you. I will
No,
answer.
please don't interrupt me.
Well,
You can nope. Let me finish my sentence. I do not want to hear. You think that your opinion is over other people's opinions. You think you were right subjectively. What
okay.
is right or wrong?
Okay. Is murder wrong?
Yes, of course.
Well, then abortion should
Not
be
in
illegal.
every case.
Answer to question.
What constitutes a human? What is a human?
Deoxyribonucleic acid and conception.
But to me, a
forming.
human would be someone with a consciousness who is alive in
Yeah.
this world.
Well,
To
guess
you,
what? You're wrong. So
but
that's
no,
fine.
you're wrong because I think that's right and you think that's
Prove
right.
me. Prove it wrong.
What constitutes a human being? What is the
So if
definition
you
of a
take
human being?
DNA and
The creation of DNA that will never exist again,
Mhm.
and a soul goes into that moment. I don't expect you guys.
What's a soul?
A soul.
What's a soul?
What is a soul?
What is a soul?
The eternal, indistinguishable, let's just say, non-visible being of your existence.
I don't believe that. I don't
Well,
believe anything
I'm
is
sorry,
eternal.
I'm sorry you don't believe it.
and that does not make yours a
Yeah, you
Well, hold on a second.
opinion isn't
Here's the thing.
over
At some point, somebody's truth has to win. Because guess what? Your
In
truth doesn't matter.
But
That's
guess
still a
what?
truth
You've had
claim.
your truth in this country.
See, that's the issue. People are so wanting their opinions to be fact and valid. Like, it's my opinion or nothing else. That's the problem. If your opinion doesn't make sense, if it doesn't make sense to another person, because there are subjective issues. Like, she just said that her definition of a human is one who has consciousness. Here's the thing. When you're unconscious, does that make you less human? No, you're still human because you can't just sit it into just that definition. There's a broad spectrum of things that make us humans, that give us or make us alive, or definitively alive, should I say. And to throw in just that flat line is just so nuanced. And I think Charlie's going to handle that pretty well. Let's see.
For the past thousands of decades. You're
Thousands of decades.
not thousands,
Goodness.
whatever. That's a little embarrassing. But your truth has been the narrative of this country forever.
Hasn't
And
it?
you
It
white
just
straight
got
male
repealed. Abortion was legal in this country for 40 years.
and before the 40 years, what was
and
it?
crime dropped
Thankfully illegal in
40%
most states.
after it
And
went.
on top of that, do you
Oh,
not
wait, hold
think-
on. Do you think abortion lowers crime rates?
Crime dropped 40%.
Now, this is interesting because I'm trying to figure out exactly how that ties together. How does the crime rate correlate with abortion? Like, Who put that stat together? I would love to see your research on that one.
Percent after abortion became legal.
Why is that the case?
It's called a statistic.
Who has the most abortions in America?
Women.
Black people. Is that so? Are you trying to say the termination of blacks in the womb lower crime? That's a very racist argument.
That is not okay.
You know blacks have 45% of the
Blacks.
Right.
I would suggest choosing African American.
Blacks. What? Okay.
Sir, that's a leading question.
Huh?
Sir, that's a leading question.
You guys can come up and talk. Yeah, it's 95 degrees out here, man. So, yes, sir.
That's a racist.
No, you're the racist. You're the says that abortion lowers crime rates and blacks have the most abortions in the country. Yes. Not name calling. Wait, is it not?
Isn't that crazy? The person that they keep trying to say is a racist is advocating for more black people to be born. Make that make sense.
Black Lives Matter, or is it African American Lives Matter? Oh, really? Okay, I thought it was BLM, so I say blacks. Okay.
He was just okay, not too much, Andrew. Do you believe that you have some sort of privilege that skews your view on other people's lives? Because personally, I don't believe you could step in my shoes as a black woman and relate and understand the things. So I feel like it's not fair for you to choose what I get to do with my life because I'm a black woman in a white society.
What does being black have to do with truth?
Because there are different things that we experience,
Like what?
and my truth might not be your truth.
What, did you get into college easier than I do?
What?
Yes, you get jobs and internships that white kids don't get.
Oh, poor white people.
You haven't.
And that's so funny that the one sitting there talking, oh, poor white people, is the white person. Little blonde-haired girl right there in the middle. Stop it. Stop it.
Entire movements dedicated to your race.
We're so like.
It's hard to get right. It's crazy. Okay, so
Do you not believe in racism?
Of course, racism exists. The Democrat Party is still alive and well.
Do you think people are racist against white people?
All the time. All the time.
That's his.
Affirmative action is racism against white people. Yes.
Okay.
And Asians as well.
And Asians. That's right.
So I do have a question in that sense. If affirmative action is racism, why are most colleges predominantly white?
Why are they most predominantly white?
Why are most colleges, public colleges, are predominantly
Yeah,
white?
we're a majority white country. You realize that, right? So colleges are the depiction of the nation.
Okay.
And actually, blacks on campus are disproportionate more than their population in certain areas, in certain campuses than their population because of affirmative action.
Now, what he also did not mention is the fact that you have organizations like HBCUs, historically black colleges and universities. And I can hear y'all now about, oh, well, you know why they're there. Yes, I know why they're there. But you can't ignore the fact that they are predominantly black. Like, yes, white people are allowed in them, but they're predominantly black. So, yeah, there are advantages to being black in America.
In HBCUs? Is that what you're
Certain
talking about?
campuses.
Are you talking about HBCUs?
So, but let me just ask a more broad philosophical question. Why does skin color matter at all? Why should we care about it?
Because of the society we live in.
Well, hold on.
Because of the
But
society
no.
You're dismissing anything that has ever happened to someone of
Let me
color
ask
by
you a
saying
question.
that.
What can you do, or what can I do that you can't do?
Explain
What
how
law?
affirmative action works. Explain how
Affirmative action is lowering of tests, standards, and quota for a
Wrong.
quota.
You're an idiot.
No, it's
I'm gonna
not.
tell you
It's
how
the
it
way
works.
it works.
I'm gonna tell you how it works.
Yeah, it's the way it works.
So I guess this young man did not read the lawsuit that was brought before the Supreme Court. Yes, young man, that's exactly what universities were doing. They were lowering the standards for black students. That's your SAT, your SATs, your extracurricular activities, your GPA, in order to fill a quota, an affirmative action quota, which is why that saying is always about, did you get here based on your merit or did you get here based on affirmative action? So
Entertain fallacies.
I take me because I.
Let him
Why-
talk. We have to hear your fallacies.
Why does skin color matter?
I believe skin color matters because of the society
He's not
we
being
are
respectful.
in. goes into theory.
Yes, it is.
Because of the society we have lived in, race is a factor. If from the beginning of time, race wasn't a factor, and there was never anybody who was oppressed because of their race, I feel like it would not play a part in anything that we do. But because literally less.
Oh, it's just Charlie.
They were interrupting you.
You believe about black on black crime?
Do I believe in black on black crime?
Yeah.
It's abundant.
Explain.
Yeah, it's the number one cause of death in many black communities. I'm just being honest. Like,
Okay. So do you? So back to our previous argument.
Okay, I don't think she knew where she was going with that. Yes. Okay, people, we need to go ahead and talk about this. There is such thing as black on black crime, just like there's white on white crime. You can call it whatever you want. You can call it proximity crimes. The problem is, for a young black man, black on black violence is the most detrimental thing to their lives. In between the ages of like, I'd have to pull it up, but I think it's like in between the ages of like 14 to 25. Homicide. And you have over a 90% chance of those homicides being another black man. That's just the truth.
That was interrupted. So in the sense of what, like I was saying, you don't believe like because of the history and because races have been oppressed, you don't believe like race plays a part in things, and you don't believe like
no, that's not true. No. So do you know who Thomas Sowell is? You know who Thomas Sowell is?
Yeah.
I really encourage you to look. Thomas Sowell's great. He's one of the best black economists of the 20th century. Grew up in Harlem, and he's done the best research in the 1940s, 1950s, and 60s black community. And essentially, his argument is that black America was experiencing a renaissance in the 50s and 60s, despite discrimination. Yes. Now, the one part that I would agree with.
But however, it's not the black community as a whole. Harlem black community.
There, Chicago too, but let's pretend you're right. Okay. The one argument that I would agree with, and I'm against systemic racism arguments. The one that I would say, you know what, there was something very wrong is when Democrat Lyndon Baines Johnson destroyed the black nuclear family. If there was one part where I could say, you know what, that was unjust and that has to be undone, it's when Lyndon Baines Johnson went in to the Great Society program with the intent to destroy the black nuclear family.
Okay. So in that case, do you believe on drugs also played a part? Or
Not
do you not
really.
believe in the war on drugs?
Well, look, I mean, I believe we should be very harsh on drugs, but I think I would give some merit to the argument of agencies peddling cocaine in the inner cities. There is evidence to show that. I'm not going to debate it. Do I think it has so for example, like there's one number that I'm fascinated with, right? Single motherhood in the black community was about 28% in 1945. Okay? Now it's around 65 to 70%. Why? Are we more racist than we were in 1945?
No.
Okay. So then what happened?
The war on drugs.
Okay, fair enough.
The war on drugs. The demolishing the nuclear family, in a sense.
Right.
And I believe due to the history that's happened, racism is still very prevalent in a lot of the a lot of the systems that are in America, correct?
Yeah. So no, of course not. But I was actually caught by your shirt. You know, Malcolm X was super pro-life.
Yes.
I think Malcolm X could teach a lot of the black movement something, because it more so than Martin Luther King, because Malcolm X, I'm getting there. Malcolm X, some people don't describe him correctly as being violent, right? That was a very small part of his literature. He was very big on trying to get black America to succeed despite the white liberals.
Yes.
And
not the white liberal.
He did say white liberal. Oh, you go look up the Malcolm X white liberal quote. And so I think that's interesting. Just think about it. Go look up Malcolm X warned against white liberals owning black America, which is exactly.
Okay, so my back.
Man, listen. So first, let me go ahead and give a little bit of correction. It's not Malcolm X. Mr. Shabazz. He did not want to be known as Malcolm X any longer. So let's give him at least that respect. But that is 100% correct. He did say that the white liberal wants to use the black American as a political football. The white liberal has made strides, or is so good at coming in and pretending to be the Negro's friend. This is what Malcolm X was trying to teach. And then, of course, Malcolm himself, being a man of faith, and also was not for abortion because that is nothing but genocide. And you can say it any way that you want, but I want you to understand this. We are talking about in a time period from 1972 to today, well over 20 million Black babies alone aborted. That is 20 million potential lives right there. Just aborted. Just said, nah. And then they put a little pretty bow on it and tell you that it's women's choice. But a choice for what? They want to call it, of course, pro-choice. But what it really is pro-death. A pig is still a pig if you put a bow on it. Murder is still murder, even if you put a pretty title on it. All right. All right, y'all. Well, that'll do it for this episode of the Full Service with Mr. Full Service. Also, just letting y'all know, I will be back doing Simply Sundays. Not this week, but next week, next Sunday will be our first show back. And I can't wait. I've got some great content for you guys, and I cannot wait to put it out there. Also, catch us on the Trifecta Hour every Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Trifecta Hour we airing on YouTube. We also have a Rumble. We have a Twitter. We have a Facebook page. Make sure you catch the socials. Also, follow me on my socials because I post actually a lot of content to YouTube and also to Instagram. And of course, I'm trying to get back into TikTok, but I don't really like a lot of the TikTok policies just because of the censorship. Not to mention, you can't actually show your evidence and things like that on TikTok like you can on Instagram or even on a YouTube live. So, on here we can show videos, we can screen share and things like that. So I don't know. So let me know in the comment section what you thought about this video. Do y'all think that Charlie was right in his approach? Did you actually like the fact that the rhetoric, he tried to keep the rhetoric as genial and, genial and cordial as possible, even with so many opposition? And I think he did a really good job of staying cool and just sticking to the facts. So let me know what you think. Also, let me know what you think I should be looking at next. All right. Much love. And we will see you guys on the next Full Service. Talk to y'all soon.